5 days ago, I turned 16 years old. I was really excited about my birthday and thought it was going to be a special day. But what actually happened was nothing like what I expected. That morning, my parents came to me with big smiles on their faces. They said they had a surprise birthday gift for me. It was a family trip to a resort. I was so happy. As the younger child, I don't usually get much attention, so it felt amazing that they were doing something so nice just for me. I quickly packed my bags, full of excitement, thinking about all the fun we were going to have together. After I finished packing, I went downstairs, ready to leave. But then I saw something strange. My parents were already gone. Only my older sister, Sarah, who's 18, was there. Sarah is the favorite child. She always knows how to get our parents to do what she wants. She had a big smile on her face that made me feel like something was wrong. I asked her where our parents were and what was going on. She looked at me calmly and told me that I didn't need to pack my bags anymore. I was confused and asked her why. That's when she told me the truth. There was no trip for me. Instead of a birthday vacation, she handed me a piece of paper. On it was a long list of chores. I was shocked. I asked her what was happening, and she explained that she had talked to our parents and told them that I should stay home to study. My school finals are coming up in a couple of weeks, so she thought it would be better for me to focus on studying instead of going on a trip. Meanwhile, Sarah still got to go on the vacation. She said she had already finished all her schoolwork, so she deserved the break. She even said I should be grateful to her for helping me stay focused. She laughed and told me that while the rest of the family would be having fun, I could do the chores if I got bored. I didn't know what to say. I was hurt and didn't even feel like crying. I just asked where Mom and Dad were. Sarah smiled and told me she had already sent them to the airport. She said they didn't want to break my heart by telling me themselves, so they asked her to do it instead. It was clear that Sarah had enjoyed every moment of delivering this so-called gift. I couldn't believe my parents agreed with her. My birthday, which started out with so much excitement, turned into a day I'll never forget, but for all the wrong reasons. I tried my best not to cry in front of Sarah. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of seeing me upset. I quietly picked up my bags and walked back upstairs. Once I was in my room and heard the front door close behind her, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I broke down and cried for a whole hour. Sarah has never liked me, and I've always known that. What hurts more is that my parents always listen to her. Whatever she says, they believe her right away. It's like her word is the only one that matters to them. I've gotten used to being the one they ignore, but I never thought they would do something this hurtful, especially on my birthday. Yes, we've had fights before, Sarah and me. But this time it was different. This time, it felt cruel. That morning, after my parents told me about the surprise trip, I was so happy that I even messaged my friends to cancel our evening plans. I told them I couldn't hang out because my parents were taking me somewhere special. My friends were shocked, but happy for me. Even they knew it was rare for my parents to do something like that for me. I guess it really was too good to be true. After the tears stopped, I didn't feel any better. In fact, the more I thought about it, the angrier I became. I felt betrayed. And I wanted to do something to get back at them, not just Sarah but also my parents who let her do this to me. Since I was all alone at home, I came up with a plan. I went into my dad's home office and opened his laptop. It didn't have a password. I looked through his emails and contacts and found a list of important people he works with. Then I used his office phone to call them. I told each of them that I was throwing a surprise anniversary party for my parents that evening and that I'd love it if they could come. Most of them agreed, probably because I sounded like a sweet, thoughtful kid. Then, I did the same with my mom's contacts. Her phone and laptop weren't password protected either, which made it easy. After that, I even found Sarah's boyfriend on social media and invited him too. I also texted my own friends and asked them to help decorate the house and make it look like a real party was happening. By 8 p.m., people started showing up. Lots of them. They looked surprised when they saw that my parents weren't there yet. I told them it was all part of the surprise. I even took a big group photo with everyone smiling in the living room. Once that was done, I was ready to carry out the second part of my plan. I stood in front of the guests and told them the full truth. I told them where my parents were and how they had left me behind on my birthday. I explained how they always listen to Sarah, my older sister, and treat everything she says like it's the most important thing in the world. I said I've always felt like Cinderella, left out, ignored, and treated unfairly, but I had never spoken up about it until now. I told everyone how excited I was that morning when my parents said we were going on a surprise family trip. I even canceled my plans with my friends because I thought something special was finally happening for me. But then, just a few hours later, Sarah told me I wasn't going. She gave me a list of chores instead and said I should stay home and study while the rest of the family had fun. I said it hurt even more because my parents didn't even tell me themselves. They let Sarah do it, all because she thought it was better for me to stay home. As I spoke, I saw the looks on everyone's faces. People were shocked. Most of them had always thought my parents were kind and caring people. They had no idea what things were like behind closed doors. But I told them, good parents don't do this to their child, especially not on their birthday. I told the guests the reason I threw this party was not for fun. It was to show everyone the truth. I even held up the list of chores Sarah had left for me. It was proof of how little they cared about my feelings. I saw Sarah's boyfriend standing in a corner. He looked surprised and maybe even a little hurt, like he was seeing a side of Sarah he didn't know before. When I finished talking, the room went quiet. No one really knew what to say. After a while, some people quietly left. Others came up to me and offered kind words, saying they were sorry for what I was going through. The only thing I felt slightly bad about was wasting their time, but honestly, I didn't regret it. They needed to see the truth. Once everyone had gone, I sent the group photo we took earlier to my parents and Sarah. I added a message. Had some guests over for my birthday party today. Guess I'll get started on that chore list Sarah left me. It was perfect. Within seconds, they replied, demanding I fix everything and saying they were coming home on the next flight. I didn't answer. I blocked them and packed my bags. Then, I went to my best friend Emily's house. Her family had always told me their door was open, and I finally took them up on the offer. I didn't know how long I could stay, but I was just glad to be somewhere safe and kind. The next day, my parents showed up at Emily's house. Emily's parents told them they had no right to talk to me and refused to let them in. After I made it very clear that I didn't want to speak to my parents, they started threatening legal action against Emily's parents. That scared me a little. I didn't want Emily's family to get into trouble because of me, so I asked them to let my parents in. I agreed to talk to them. When my parents walked in, they looked angry. They didn't ask if I was okay or apologize. Instead, they immediately started shouting at me. They were upset because I had invited their business contacts to the fake party. They said I had ruined their reputation. Their coworkers and associates weren't talking to them anymore. Some had even blocked their phone numbers. They blamed me for everything. And, to be honest, they were right, I did plan the whole thing. But I also told them this never would have happened if they had just shown me some care on my birthday. I said, if you hadn't hurt me like that, I wouldn't have done any of this. Then I exploded. I yelled at them for always treating me unfairly. I told them how they always picked Sarah over me, how they believed everything she said and never stood up for me. I said she had ruined my life, and they had helped her do it. I told them I would never forgive them. Things got out of control fast. Everyone was yelling. The shouting got so loud that Emily's parents stepped in. Emily pulled me aside and took me to another room to help me calm down. I was shaking and angry, but I tried to breathe and relax. After a while, Emily's parents came to me and said my parents had left. They promised they wouldn't let them speak to me again unless I wanted to. They were kind and calm and told me something I hadn't thought about before. Maybe it was time to seriously consider legal steps to live on my own. They said it was clear that my parents didn't care about me the way they should, and I needed to think about cutting ties with them for good. After talking with Emily's parents, I decided to look into it. I started searching for information about living independently and planned to speak with a lawyer. I was nervous. It's a big decision, and I didn't want to rush into something I'd regret. But honestly, after everything that happened, I knew this might be the best thing for me. The next day, even though I didn't want to hear from them, my parents contacted me again.
They sent me an email that night.
At first, I didn't want to read it, but I got curious and opened it. In the email, they said the surprise vacation was actually a gift from one of my dad's clients who owned a new resort. They said the timing just happened to be close to my birthday. But then Sarah reminded them about my exams, and they decided not to take me so my grades wouldn't suffer. My parents wrote in the email that I had misunderstood everything. They said I saw the situation in the wrong way and tried to get back at them for something that wasn't meant to hurt me. They told me this made them feel like they had failed as parents. They also said Sarah was very upset. According to them, she was only trying to be a caring big sister, and I had overreacted for no reason. Honestly, I thought the whole email was nonsense. I almost stopped reading halfway through. But I kept going, and the rest was about how upset they were that I had told other people about our family problems. They said they never wanted our private issues to be shared with others, and it embarrassed them. They also said they never expected me to do something like this. They claimed that, even though we've had problems, I never came to them directly to talk about how I felt. So, in their eyes, they never had the chance to fix anything. They said that if I had only told them I was hurt or upset, they might have been able to make things better. They even said they would have come home right away if they had known I felt left out. They admitted that the chore list Sarah gave me was maybe a bit too much, but they still believed I should have just called them instead of doing something so extreme. They said they didn't mean to hurt me, and that everything that happened was just a big misunderstanding. They asked me to talk to them, so we could fix things. But honestly, I don't know what I want. I feel all mixed up inside. I know one thing for sure though, I'm not going to say sorry. I blocked the email address they used, so they can't reach me again that way. I've decided I'm not going to answer them anymore, no matter what they say. I won't read anything else they send. It would just confuse me more and make me feel worse. As for living on my own, I've decided to go for it. I know it's a big step, and I'm still pretty young, but Emily and her parents have been amazing. They promised to stay by my side no matter what. They even said they could adopt me legally if it would help me feel safer and less alone. I haven't thought much about that yet, but just knowing I have that option makes me feel stronger. Right now, we're focused on helping me live independently. We've already talked to a lawyer, and the legal paperwork is being worked on. I don't know how my parents will react when they find out, especially since their email made it clear they're not happy about me staying with Emily's family. But honestly, after how they've treated me, I don't understand why they still care. It's confusing, because it's clear they've always cared more about Sarah than me. I have a strong feeling that my parents only want me back to fix their image and reputation, not because they truly care about me. Right now, I feel very confused. All I can do is wait for them to receive the legal papers and see how they react. It's been a few days since I posted about everything, and they haven't tried to contact me again after that email. I don't really know what they're feeling, but I do know things probably aren't going well for them. A lot of people came to that fake party I threw, and word must have spread. Also, I heard Sarah and her boyfriend broke up. No one knows why, except me, of course. A couple of days later, my parents were officially served with the paperwork that says I want to live on my own. As expected, they were not happy. I was still surprised by how upset they got. They called Emily's parents and got into a big argument with them. My parents believed that Emily's parents had convinced me to do this. They thought I was being controlled and wasn't thinking for myself, which is just ridiculous. Do they even realize how badly they've treated me over the years? Of course, I'm doing this because want to. No one had to push me to make this decision. Honestly, I kind of expected them to act like this. After everything I said at the party, they probably just wanted to show everyone that we were still one big happy family and that I was just being dramatic. But I didn't go back, and that made them even angrier. They can't stand the fact that I'm finally standing up for myself. That's their problem, not mine. They can say whatever they want about Emily's parents, but that won't change the truth. My parents don't deserve to call themselves my parents anymore. Now I'm finally breaking free from them. I didn't hear much of the phone call, but Emily told me what happened. My parents called her parents all kinds of terrible names. They even said they would take them to court if needed. They were shouting that Emily's parents had no right to help me or support this decision. They were so angry, they even made threats to hurt Emily's family, which is insane. I hope they realize that kind of behavior is illegal and only makes them look worse. The way they talked about me during that call showed their true colors. They don't want me back because they love me. They want me back to fix how they look in front of other people. They think Emily's parents are trying to ruin their reputation by helping me and being kind. But that just proves how little they really understand what being a parent means. I was treated badly at home, and that's why I turned to Emily and her parents for help. They told me they would never let anyone hurt me again. But when my parents called them, they were yelling on the phone, saying I was just a spoiled and ungrateful brat. They even said that Emily's parents were bad parents for supporting me. If my parents really loved me like a daughter, they would care about how I'm feeling. They would try to talk to me, not yell at people who are trying to help. But all they care about is their reputation. They think Emily's parents are trying to ruin how others see them. Emily's parents haven't even known my parents for long. They only met through us, so there's no reason for them to compete or fight. Besides, there is no competition. Emily's parents are kinder, more successful, and they care about me like I'm one of their own. But my parents are so focused on their image that they can't believe anyone would truly care about me. They think Emily's family is only helping me to make them look bad. Emily's parents told me not to reach out to my parents, even if I feel like it. They said it's not worth it, and I agree. I also found out they recorded the phone call with my parents. They only told me the important parts, but they said my parents said a lot of awful things. Recording that call was smart because it can be used as proof in court to show why I should live on my own. They also asked me if I wanted them to adopt me legally. I said yes. Not just to make my parents mad, although that is a bonus, but because I really feel that Emily's family is kind, loving, and safe. Having Emily as my sister would be amazing, and I would finally have the family I deserve. They said they'll talk to the lawyer again and begin the adoption paperwork. It might also help my case for living independently. Everything was starting to feel better. I felt happy and truly thankful. But just when things were looking up, something awful happened. A few days later, Sarah attacked me after school. It was after my last class, English, which is in the East Wing of the school. I'm usually the last to leave class because I pack my things slowly. That day, by the time I walked out, most of the students had already left. I saw Sarah and a group of her friends waiting outside. I instantly felt nervous, but I tried not to show it. I knew they wanted me to feel scared. As I tried to walk away, they blocked my path. Sarah got in my face and told me I wasn't allowed to leave. Then they told everyone else who was still nearby to go away. Sarah said they had unfinished business with me. I tried to stay calm and not show how scared I was, but Sarah didn't care. She grabbed my arm and started pulling me outside. I yelled at her to let me go, but her friends were being loud, and no one could hear me. They dragged me to the janitor's closet, shoved me inside, and locked the door from the outside. I started banging on the door, hoping someone would hear me. But Sarah and her friends stood outside, blocking the door. And even if someone did hear me, they probably wouldn't help. Sarah and her friends are in the senior classes, and they're known for being mean. Most people are scared of them. After about 6 minutes, Sarah opened the door and let me out. By then, most students had already gone home. The hallway was empty. It was just me and them. That's when she slapped me across the face. Hard. She started yelling at me, calling me selfish and ungrateful. She said I didn't deserve anything and that I had hurt our parents. Then she shouted what was really making her so mad. She blamed me for her boyfriend breaking up with her. Then, she slammed my head against the concrete wall. I started feeling dizzy. Everything was spinning. She noticed and took advantage of it. She began punching me again and again. Her friends just stood there, laughing and watching like it was a game. It hurt so much. I tried to fight back, but Sarah is much taller and stronger than me. I couldn't do much. I ended up curling up against the wall, trying to protect myself. But she didn't stop. She kept hitting me. Finally, when she was done, she kicked me one last time. Then she and her friends walked away, leaving me there on the floor, crying. About 20 minutes later, Emily found me. I was still sitting on the floor, crying and in pain. When I told her what happened, she helped me up right away. I couldn't walk properly, so instead of walking home, we took a cab. When we got to her house, we told her parents everything. They looked very serious and upset. Right away, they contacted the school and called the police. It's only been an hour since then, and they've been on the phone the whole time, doing everything they can. They're really busy trying to help, but Emily is staying by my side and taking care of me. I don't know what's going to happen next, but at least I'm safe now. I'm still sore and my body is covered in bruises. Everything hurts, but I believe Sarah will face the consequences of what she did, and she already has. Thankfully, last week the school supported me. They gave the police the security camera footage from that part of the building. With that proof, it was easy for the police to charge Sarah. She was punished with community service, but the best part is she got suspended from school for 7 weeks. That means she won't get to go to prom, which she had been really excited about. She also won't be able to take her finals with the rest of her class. Instead, she'll have to take them alone, so there's no chance she can cheat. That part made me feel a little better. But something even more surprising happened. After everything with Sarah, my parents decided to give up their rights as my parents. Yes, they officially ended their parental rights. The papers were signed, and now I'm finally free from them. Emily's parents are now working on legally adopting me. I can't even begin to say how thankful I am. My old parents told me they didn't want me in their family anymore. I know they'll probably try to tell others that it's all my fault, but honestly, I don't care. People can believe whatever they want. What matters is that I'm finally happy and safe. Now, I'm part of a real family, a kind one. I know in my heart that Emily's parents and Emily herself are way better than the ones I had before. I truly feel loved and accepted here. I still can't believe things are finally getting better for me. For the first time in a long time, I feel happy, really happy. I've even been so happy lately that I almost forgot about my upcoming finals. But Emily reminded me, and now we're getting ready to study hard. We're going to do our best and show everyone what I'm capable of. This is my fresh start, and I'm ready to make the most of it.